Hi, welcome back again. This is now my fourth vlog. I hope that you've enjoyed the content of the other ones so far. So what am I looking at covering today? I thought I'd take a look at explaining a little bit more about how people usually find their first week on Cambridge Weight Plan. I thought I'd cover how an initial consultation goes with me and the things that I advise my customers within that initial first consultation. I always outline a few things, just to let them know what's possibly coming up along the start of their journey. So with an initial first consultation, I've usually discussed previously with the person before they've even come to the shop what, if ever, they've done any weight loss plans before, have they actually tried Cambridge Weight Plan before, get a little bit of background information from them. I usually ask for a rough weight, height, any medical conditions, any medications they may take. That way it gives me the opportunity to then do any medical inquiries to head office that I may need to do to get that person started on their weight loss journey on Cambridge Weight Plan. And also then I've got a little bit of an idea of what I need to cover with them when they come for initial consultation. So a slimmer will come for an initial consultation, and again I will run through everything with them. We'll complete a personal record form, and that will highlight again any medical conditions. It has their weight, their height, and other personal sort of things on there. Then what I tend to do is I run through which steps are available to them depending again on their height, their weight, their medical condition. What I then do as well is, once we've sort of worked out what appropriate steps there are to that particular slimmer, we then discuss which option they would like to go with, and then I sort of talk about that step in a little bit more detail. I give my customers a sort of a welcome pack, so to speak, so to have their steps book in there, which your steps book, as far as I'm concerned, it's like your Bible on Cambridge Weight Plan. You really need to have a steps book right from the start to let you know how the plan works, what each step entails, and it's got things in there to do with exercise and things like that. So all those bits are covered, right the way through to maintenance. So it's a really good idea to make sure that you've got a steps book so that you can have a look for yourself, have a read through that. Now, what I tend to do as well is, for my slimmers who are on step 1A, 1B, step 2, I also give a basic information sheet. So this outlines what you can and sort of can't do as a quick guide. So for instance, on step 1A and 1B, it highlights the fact that you can have your water, you can have the water flavourings, you can have black tea, coffee, herbal teas, fruit teas. It talks about you can use tablet sweetener but not a powdered one, and the reason for the not using the powdered one is actually because powdered sweeteners contain a carb carrier. So there's pointers like that all along my sheet. Then what I also give is I give a sheet that actually explains to my slimmers how they can make the mousse and how they can make the jelly using the mix and mousse powder and the water flavouring. That's for the jelly. The mousse is actually just made using either a shake sachet or a smoothie with the mix and mousse powder. So as I say, that's my basic information sheet that outlines pretty much what's in the step book for step 1A, 1B, step 2, but on more of a quick guide bullet point sheet. So as well as that, I also do all the measurements with my slimmers, and I give them a waist ribbon. So as their waist measurements are changing, they can actually hold out the waist ribbon and see the weight measurement changing for themselves. So I talk about what to expect in that first week. So obviously for some people there are side effects that can happen in that first week. Things like headache. Usually it's down to carb withdrawal within the first few days. For most people that has usually subsided by day 4, day 5. If it hasn't, then let your consultant know. they can then sort of advise you whether it's best, you know, to have a look at your water intake. Possibly, maybe you're not quite getting enough water and a little bit dehydrated. Something else that can occur for some slimmers is constipation. Not the best topic to talk about, mainly for the slimmer, I find. As a consultant, we generally don't have anything specific that's off limits to talk about. You know, we're quite happy to discuss slimmers, you know, issues on plan such as constipation. There goes my phone. Let me just turn that to silent. Didn't realise it was on. Okay, so yeah, as I say, constipation, that can be an issue for some slimmers. So if you are generally somebody who goes quite regularly and you suddenly find that you're not, then again, let your consultant know. They can try and give you the best advice possible. Usually we'd advise speaking to a pharmacist who can then sort of, you know, recommend something for you as an individual person. I think at the end of the day, each person's issue alongside something like constipation should be treated as an individual. Everyone's a bit different. What else do I discuss at initial consultation? Other possible side effects, which again, you know, they are listed in your steps book, so it is there for you to see. I also talk about, you know, some people do struggle quite badly within the first few days on Cambridge Weight Plan. Personally, for me on my journey, I didn't. I actually found it really, really easy. I think I went into it mentally with the attitude of, you know, I'm absolutely going to starve on this. It's just, you know, shakes, soups, etc. I didn't really know back then about mousse and the jelly and things like that. But I was determined that I was going to get at least through the first couple of weeks. So I always say to my slimmers, you know, if the first few days you do have a headache, you do struggle a bit, you know, just constantly message me. That's what I'm here for. It's the same for other slimmers, you know, that is what your consultant is there for. They're there to support you. So if you are struggling, let them know. If you don't let them know, they can't actually, you know, help you to get through, especially that first week. As I say, I didn't struggle at all while I was on my journey. Once I'd got sort of into the second week, I just found it a routine. I found it really easy to follow. It was actually the easiest weight loss plan I've ever done. So yeah, I as I say, I get my customers to sort of think about their first week. Let them know that, you know, some people do struggle. It is quite normal in those first few days with carb withdrawal and things like that. So as I say, you know, my customers let me know. I'm in contact with them pretty much every single day in their first week. Some people need a little bit more motivation and support than others, so, you know, I will message as much as I'm needed. So if somebody's messaging me 5-6 times a day, then that's fine. That's what I'm here for, and I'll answer those messages. My phone's usually glued to my hand, so I don't generally answer quite quickly. The days that I'm in the shop, I'm here from morning until late at night, so I'm not maybe quite as quick as I would be, but, you know, I can message in between other customers when there's like a 2-minute window or something. So what I sort of also go through with some of my slimmers is what they think their challenges are going to be in that first week. What have they got coming up? You know, is there something where family are getting together and, you know, they think they might struggle on that particular day because, you know, having family over there, usually associate that with, you know, having a family meal together. So there's, you know, there's ways that you can get around that. You know, what I used to do when I was on plan was, if I had people over for Sunday dinner, then I would actually have a soup while everyone else was eating their main, and then I would have a shake made into a mousse or something as dessert. Initially, I wasn't, as I said a little while ago, I wasn't aware of the mousse and things like that right at the start of my journey, but then I introduced it later on. So that's what I did, was I would make myself a mousse and I would have that as a dessert while everyone else was eating dessert. I found that worked for me. I'm not saying that would work for everyone. For some people, they find they can't sit around a table with others while they're eating, and that's fine. You know, as I will constantly reiterate through all my vlogs, everybody's journey is individual. You know, what somebody else can do doesn't mean that you're able to do that. what somebody else wants to do doesn't mean to say that you then should do that. I found that the longer I was on my journey, the easier it become for me, and that's usually the case for most people. You know, you get over that initial first week, and then you find it, you know, it's a lot easier going after that. It becomes routine, the hunger is gone, and generally, you know, you're sort of in the swing of it. What else do I cover with my slimmers on their first consultation? I'm trying to think. I think I've sort of pretty much covered the majority of it. I always let them know, you know, as I said, you know, as a consultant, that's what we're here for. We're here to support you. And some people might think that it's a bit silly, you know, constantly messaging their consultant and asking questions. You know, ask. That's what we're here for. We're here to support you. We're here to help you. We want you to succeed as much as you actually want to succeed and get to your goal weight. So I'm going to have a think and see what I want to cover for the next vlog. Hopefully I've covered enough content in this one just to let you know, your first week. As I say, not everybody's first week is easy like mine was. Some people really, really do struggle. Some people need an awful lot more support than others. But, you know, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, get through that first week. Get to that first weigh-in, and usually the result on the scales is so good that it motivates you again for the second week. And as I say, get into that second week and generally your journey is starting to get easier. As I say, I'll come back to sort of working out what I'm gonna cover next. But I hope for now that you've enjoyed this content, and happy slimming everyone. I hope that your journeys are going well so far, and catch up with me again soon.